is what many people have to go through to get water in Karachi. Hundreds have been queuing at this water board office under a hot sun for 7 hours. It's meant to be first come, first served, but the locals say water here is going to the highest bidder. This is a poor neighborhood. The residents believe the water board officials don't care about them. The army is called in. Over 20 million people live in Karachi, but very few have running water in their homes. Instead, they rely on government pipelines and hydrants, where tankers fill up, then deliver water to homes and businesses. But people say it's very difficult to get a tanker to deliver water to their house. Lots of people will leave here without water today. Making the situation worse, the city's water is running out. I go home with Nagma Perveen, one of the women who spends her days queuing at the water board office. A tanker delivered water last week, but it's almost run out.
ये सोने की तरह जैसे सोना इस्तेमाल करके रखते हैं ना, ऐसे सोना ये भी हम इसी तरह रखते हैं.
Nagma looks after her children full-time. Salim Qureshi, her husband, labors on building sites when he can get work. Their daughter, Ikra, has severe disabilities.
तो मैं ही पानी पिलाती हूँ दिन में हर घंटे के बाद पानी.
What do you do when you don't get enough water?
ना मिले तो मजबूरी है, पड़ी रहे, बदबू आती रहे, कीड़े पड़ जाते हैं बच्ची को टट्टी पेशाब पखाने से. कीड़े पड़ जाते हैं, एक दिन ना धोएंगे तो पेशाब तो सलवार में कीड़े हो जाते हैं.
Nagma says it's cheaper to buy second-hand clothes for her daughter than buy the water to wash them.
ऐसे ये 20-20 रुपए के मिलते हैं लंडे में से. दो तीन रोज के बिना धोते नहीं है, ना पानी होता. क्या करें?
When you see a family who's dealing with a child with a disability, it's far more extreme to not have something as basic as water. Water has become very valuable. Criminal gangs are siphoning off water from the pipes that supply the official hydrants and selling it on the black market for big profits. Asif Qadri, a senior water board official, is in charge of cracking down on water theft.
तो आप कह रहे हैं जो ये इलाका है इसमें ज्यादा इलीगल हाइड्रेट्स है क्योंकि यहाँ पानी कम
है और कराची का जो मेन जो इलाका है.
Gangs selling water can earn in a day what many earn in a year. People call them the tanker mafia.
पानी की चोरी करे 10 लाख रुपए रोज कमा रहा है, 5 लाख रुपए रोज कमा रहा है और सजा कोई नहीं. मतलब कोई खास सजा तो वही लोग रिकॉर्डेड है ये कि वो लोग इसमें इन्वॉल्व हो गए जो मंशियात फरोश थे.
Asif and his team have been tipped off about an illegal water hydrant. They're going to demolish it.
We have now been joined by police, rangers, other members of the water board, and the digger that's going to destroy the illegal hydrant.
The criminals have run off. Asif shows me the illegal water source.
खींचने के लिए चोरी करने के लिए पंप इस्तेमाल होते हैं जो लगता है कि यहाँ से ले आ चुके हैं, शिफ्ट कर चुके हैं, लेकिन जो अदर चीज़ें हैं सिस्टम जो है वो मौजूद है जिससे ये साबित होता है कि ये यहाँ पे एक्टिविटीज़ जारी थी.
Why do you have security here?
ये अगर सिक्योरिटी ना होती तो हम काम भी नहीं कर सकते. एक्चुअली ये लोग जो ना फिर हम पे अटैक करते हैं.
They just destroyed one hydrant and apparently there are 2 others that they're going to destroy in the exact same area.
They find another pump. Criminals have used this pump to extract water from as deep as 200 feet underground. Locals depended on this illegal supply. Though the water was dirty, it was better than no water at all.
How will the people in this area get drinking water now, or any water?
हमारी एक 33 इंच की लाइन यहाँ से गुजर रही है। इनको हफ्ते में 20 से 24 घंटे पानी मिलता है।
नहीं, कनेक्शन ही नहीं है, झूठ है। कनेक्शन ही नहीं है भाईजान। इन्होंने कनेक्शन दिया हमारे को, हमारे पूरे सेक्टर में कनेक्शन दिया आपने।
जहाँ कनेक्शन नहीं है वो एक मजबूरी हो सकती है।
हम रहायशी लोग हैं, है ही नहीं है, पानी नहीं है, कहाँ से पिए?
ठीक है। उन कनेक्शनों से इनके पूरे एरिया को पानी सप्लाई नहीं हो पाता है। टेल एंड्स पे पानी जाना मुश्किल हो जाता है क्योंकि पीछे भी पानी कम है। वाटर बोर्ड के बाद भी पानी की जो सोर्सेज हैं वो कम है। यानी आप ये पानी पीने के इस्तेमाल में लाते हैं?
क्या करें, कसम खुदा की पीते हैं।
ये प्रॉब्लम है।
आप पानी नहीं दोगे तो ये पियेंगे ना।
देखें अगर आपको लीगल तरीके से कोई चीज नहीं मिल रही है तो आपका राइट नहीं बनता है कि आप इलीगल तरीके से ले। ठीक है, इसका हल और तरीके से निकलेगा जो हम नहीं निकालेंगे, हमारे सुपीरियर निकालेंगे। आप प्रॉपर वे पे तो आप थ्रू प्रॉपर चैनल तो चले।
यहाँ इलाके में कोई लाइन ही नहीं, आप वहाँ
कनेक्शन दो।
Some neighborhoods in Karachi do have a legal pipeline connection. But getting water is difficult there too.
We're on our way to an area called Arangi. It's a very poor area, and there are about 2 million people that live there.
This is Meronisa Hussain. She's taking me to her home. The pipeline she depends on only works for an hour or so every 15 days.
ये हम लोग का घर है, ये भी घर वाले का नल नीचे है, उनका घर भी नल नीचे है, सबका घर नल नीचे है।
It's been 2 weeks since her family last got water.
4 गिलन पानी पीने के लिए और बाकी सारा पानी खा रहा है। अपने घर से किस चीज़ में?
Most of it's not even fit to bathe in.
मीठा पानी की बहुत ज़्यादा ज़रूरत होती है। लोग नहाना भी, अगर मैं ये खारा पानी से नहा के ना बिल्कुल बाल ख़त्म हो गया समझे। अब खारा पानी बिल्कुल जिस्म में भी ना खारिश होती है, जिस्म को भी काट।
The water is scheduled to come tonight. She and her husband are getting ready.
मोटर में लगाती हूँ पाइप और हॉस पाइप लगाकर फिर पाइप यहाँ गेट खोलती हूँ, मेन गेट यहाँ से लाकर आती हूँ, पाइप यहाँ पे लगा देती।
How many of these are you going to try and fill tonight?
मेरी कोशिश होगी ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा भर जाए। मेरी कोशिश होगी ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा भरे, कम से कम ना मुझे मिले।
But the water board doesn't always turn on the pipes when they're meant to.
मेरोनिसा जी, क्या महसूस आप करती हैं जिस दिन पानी नहीं मिलता?
गुस्सा आता है तो खुश नहीं हूँ तो क्या करूँ, किससे जाके बोलूँ? आप बता दो हमें। सिर्फ मैं तो परेशान नहीं, पूरा मोहल्ला ही परेशान है इस सिलसिले में, तो क्या करूँ?
I can't imagine having to wake up in the middle of the night. You've got 4 children. You have to run down a massively steep hill just to get clean water for the next 15 days.
I want to see how it all works, so they tell me to come back around midnight. But when I return to Meronisa's neighborhood, instead of the bustle I expect to find, the streets are deserted.
पानी नहीं आया, कोई साइन नहीं पानी का। अब क्या करेंगी?
कुछ भी नहीं, इंतज़ार। पानी आता ना तकरीबन अभी रात का 1:30 बज रहा है, 2 बजने में 5 मिनट बाकी है, तो हमें पता चल जाता है कि पानी आना।
All Meronisa can do is wait another day, as her water supply gets lower. The water system desperately needs more investment and better management, but there are other reasons for the water shortage.
We keep hearing about water scarcity in Karachi, so we're going to the agricultural lands out east, where there should be water, and to see how it's been affected.
I've come to farmland at the edge of the city. Tawfiq Pasha is a farmer and one of Pakistan's best-known environmentalists.
Wow. That is a well.
This 200-year-old well uses underground channels that used to flow with rainwater. Now those channels only provide water with a high salt content.
So essentially, what once was a source of clean water has now become contaminated.
We used to drink this water. This water could be drunk. Now my plants, my trees are dying, and it's happening all over.
Why has the water changed?
Because the rains have stopped coming.
Which is because of?
Climate change, and there is definitely a shortage of water, and it affects everyone's lives.
The water from this area used to supply Karachi, but not anymore.
This used to be a farm 12 years ago. There was nothing but greenery over here. Every piece of land you see was somebody growing vegetable or fruit. And now it's nothing but barren land.
Are the local farmers aware of climate change?
Oh yes, certainly. This definitely has affected their lives, and they know that the climate has changed because they were used to rains. Okay, you're looking at the Mali River, which is a stormwater drain. I remember seeing water right across from one end to the other end, probably 40 feet deep. It was not a slow-moving river. It was a flash flood.
When was the last time you saw water here?
I have not seen the Mali River in flood in 10 years.
And the reasons for that are?
That is no rains.
A United Nations report predicts that this will be one of the countries worst affected by climate change over the next decades. It says conditions like water scarcity could jeopardize the very existence of Pakistan.
I'm on my way to Marinissa's, and she's only got one day of clean water left, so I really hope they get the water tonight.
With water supplies now running very low, people are on the streets anxiously waiting. We wait for hours, but nothing happens. Just after 5 a.m. comes the news that the water is flowing. Marinissa's husband, Mohammed, heads down the hill. He and his neighbors link hose pipes to the water mains. Wires are connected to the street's electricity supply to run the pumps. The water is finally flowing. But there's a problem.
It's not clean water, it's sewage water. You can smell how dirty it is.
Mohammed believes sewage has leaked into the water pipe.
अब देखिए कितना देर पानी आता है नल में कितना देर पानी आएगा उतना देर भरूंगी हाँ
After 20 minutes, the water stops smelling, but it's still dirty.
ये अपने हाथ में पकड़े आप देखिए चेक करें कैसे करता कोई मार ये कचरे नजर आ रहे हैं ना
इसका मतलब है ये साफ नहीं है
नहीं साफ नहीं देख रहे नहीं कचरा घूम रहा है
फजीलत चाय बना दूं
After an hour and a half, the water stops running.
किसका 2 गिलन रखे बाजी 2 गिलन लेकर के आइए जल्दी से लाके भर लीजिए बाजी
नाओ परेशानी बहुत
पानी कम गिराओ
What are you going to do for the rest of the day?
अभी वही तो मैं बोल रही हूँ अभी नाश्ता बनाऊंगी बच्चों को स्कूल भेजूंगी इनको काम में भेजूंगी फिर मैं थोड़ा सिपारा पढ़ूंगी फिर उसके बाद घर सफाई करूंगी फिर काम आ जाएगा तो काम करूंगी आराम नहीं अब रात में 12 बजे सोऊंगी प्लीज
Everyone is exhausted. It's quite a way to start a Monday morning. Of course, it's no surprise that there are some areas in Karachi where people can legally get as much water as they want when they want it.
Most of Karachi is very densely populated. The area we're in right now is called the Fence, and it's very rich, which means there are very large homes with very few people living inside. We've seen a lot of tankers in this area, so we're following one now to see where it goes. Bhai, ji, aap yahan tanker de rahe hain? Saaf pani hai?
In this house, it's the security guards that handle the water.
How often does this tanker come to this house?
After 3 days.
Every 3 days?
After 3 days.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how much?
4,000 rupees per tanker.
That's a big expense.
Yeah. Very expensive water.
4,000 rupees can be more than a week's wage for many Pakistanis, and it's 4 times the official water board price. But the people in this area can afford it. Ahmed is the housekeeper here. The owners of the house don't want to appear on camera, but let me look around.
Wow. How much water do you need to fill this pool?
वैसे तो खाली होता है तो 2,000 के करीब लगता है.
This house has taps connected to the mains, but if there's ever a problem, they can afford other options.
कुछ दिन से लैंड का पानी नहीं आ रहा है तो टैंकर कल परसों डलवाया है पानी. उसके बाद फिर ये भरा है.
Because you were able to buy water from the tank rather than rely on the main line, you could get water for the swimming pool.
जी. हाँ ये तो फिर तो बड़ी बात है ना. किसी के पास पीने के लिए नहीं है और किसी के पास टैंक भरे होते हैं. जो गरीब जो होते हैं तो वो तो कैन के लिए तरस रहे हैं. उनको नहीं मिल रहा है जो गरीब होते हैं.
This is sweet water, and in most places in Karachi, people are struggling to get this just for drinking water. But in areas like this, people don't drink this water.
This household only drinks bottled mineral water. The next day, I'm back in Orangi. I meet up with Mohammed Siraj, an activist fighting to get people fair access to water. He tells me his colleague was murdered after documenting illegal hydrants.
उनका जो काम था वो शायद लोगों को उनको अपना उस काम का नुकसान समझते थे.
Many think she was killed by a criminal gang. Despite the dangers, Siraj continues to track water theft, and he wants to show us something.
What is this that we're seeing right now?
देखें अभी हम देखने जा रहे हैं ये जो हाइड्रेंट है जो हम समझते हैं कि गैर कानूनी है.
This is not on the water board's list of legal hydrants, yet it seems to be operating completely openly.
आप यहाँ के मालिक हैं?
मैडम मैं यहाँ का मालिक हूँ.
अच्छा. वाटर बोर्ड वाले कहाँ बैठते हैं?
वाटर बोर्ड वाले तो बैठते नहीं मैडम.
क्यों?
वाटर बोर्ड कहाँ बैठेंगे? ये है 2 नंबर.
If this is an illegal hydrant, why hasn't it been destroyed?
ये पावरफुल मैन है. इसमें पावरफुल मैन बैठा हुआ है मैडम. इस वजह से नहीं तोड़ेगा.
The money that you make at this hydrant, does it go to the water board?
Yes, of course.
But it's an illegal hydrant.
Yes. मतलब ये चेन है ना मैडम. आप समझ लें चेन. 5 बंदों का चेन, 10 बंदों का चेन. सही ना? उसके अलावा नहीं चल सकता ना. सब कार हैं तो चल रहे हैं. Money, sir. This is the money. Pakistan is the very. Money is the sab karo.
And this isn't an isolated case. Sources told us there were dozens of illegal hydrants with alleged links to corrupt water board officials. We wanted to ask the water board about this, but the managing director refused to come on camera. Eventually, another senior official agreed to meet us. Oais Malik runs the water board in the western part of Karachi, where we've been filming.
Ordinary people in Orangi don't have enough water. What are you going to do about it?
अभी प्रॉब्लम जो स्टार्ट हुआ वो कैसे हुआ कि जब हमारे पास जो मेन सोर्स है वाटर सप्लाई का वो ड्राई हो गया
Are certain members of the water board mismanaging the water in Orangi?
Yeah, maybe.
Okay. We've heard allegations that some officials in the water board are corrupt.
आप उनको भी कहिए कि हाँ भाई अच्छे लोग हैं, कहीं करप्शन होगा। मैं ये नहीं कह रहा हूँ कि बिल्कुल करप्शन नहीं होगा, बहुत साफ है, करप्शन है कहीं ना कहीं पर, इंडिविजुअल है।
Are there individuals in the water board who are making money from illegal hydrants?
बिल्कुल इंडिविजुअल किसी का होगा पर्पस से मैं कह सकता हूँ क्या हो सकता है, ये इंडिविजुअली मैं बात कर रहा हूँ।
As a Pakistani, I feel real hopelessness in this situation, that I can go in, talk to a member of the water board about corruption openly in his own office building.
I go back to see Nagma and her daughter Ikra. In the days since I'd seen them, their water had run out.
आखिरी दफा 8-10 दिन हो गए जब मिला था पानी।
टैंकर से?
जी जी इधर से लेके आई थी।
With no water in the house, Nagma heads for the hydrant.
पानी बंद हो गया, क्या करें?
The hydrant is closed. Nagma has no choice but to scavenge for water. She's trapped between weak governance and climate change. It's a pattern repeated in many fast-growing cities in the developing world.
है ही नहीं पानी।
One of the tanker drivers has been cleaning out his tank. He says she can take the dregs. It's only a few liters, but it will see them through the rest of the day.
Thanks for watching this classic Unreported World episode. Click the logo to subscribe for more award-winning documentaries from the Unreported World team. We upload videos every Wednesday and Sunday, keeping you up to date with content from all over the world.